The 2007 FA Cup final was played on Saturday 19 May 2007 between Chelsea and Manchester United. It was the 126th FA Cup final and the first to be played at the new Wembley Stadium. Manchester United suffered a 1-0 defeat to Chelsea by Didier Drogba's extra-time goal, completing a domestic cup double for the Blues in the 2006-07 season, as they had already won the League Cup final in February. While United were favourite for playing a double of their own as they had recently beaten Chelsea to the Premier League title 2 weeks earlier. The game was widely considered to be a disappointment by pundits and fans alike. As a result of Manchester United and Chelsea having already been guaranteed qualification for the UEFA Champions League, the UEFA Cup entry for the FA Cup winner runner-up went instead to the highest-positioned Premier League team who hadn't already qualified for Europe, Bolton Wanderers. The match had an attendance of 89,826, the largest for an FA Cup final since Wimbledon's famous 1-0 win over Liverpool in the 1988 final, when 98,203 attended. Chelsea became only the third club to complete the domestic cup double. Arsenal did it in 1993 and Liverpool in 2001. It was their fourth FA Cup triumph, and their first under the management of Jose Copyright Mourinho. They had won the last FA Cup final at the old Wembley Stadium 7 years earlier. Background. History. The match was the first time since 1986 that the FA Cup final had been contested between the winners and runners-up of the English League, and the first time ever that the Premier League champions and the League Cup winners from the same season had gone head-to-head in the final. Manchester United were aiming for their 12th FA Cup to extend their overall record as the most successful team in the competition's history, while Chelsea were playing for their 4th FA Cup overall. The last time Chelsea had played Manchester United in an FA Cup final was in 1994, when Manchester United ran out 4-0 winners after a goalless first half. Ryan Giggs was the only player in the 2007 FA Cup final who played back in 1994. Chelsea's assistant coach Steve Clarke played on that day for the Blues in 1994. Ryan Giggs was playing in his 7th FA Cup final, equaling Roy Keane's post-war record, having played in the 1994, 1995, 1996, 1999, 2004 and 2005 finals. Chelsea were also the last club to win the FA Cup at the old Wembley Stadium, when they beat Aston Villa in the 2000 final. Chelsea continued the dominance of the so-called Big Four, who had now won the last 12 finals in a row, since Everton's 1995 victory over Manchester United. It was the 8th FA Cup final in a row involving a London club. The last final not to involve a London club was Manchester United's 2-0 win over Newcastle United in the 1999 final. Before the match, there was an official opening ceremony of the new stadium. This included the official opening by Prince William, a fly-past by the Red Arrows and a parade on the pitch of former winners at the old Wembley Stadium. The full list was recent meetings both league matches between the two clubs in the 2006-07 season finished as draws. On November 26, 2006 at United's Old Trafford ground, the match ended in a 1-1 stalemate, with the goals coming from Luis Saha and Ricardo Carvalho. The two clubs met again on May 9, 2007 in their penultimate league fixture at Stamford Bridge, but, with the league already having been sewn up the weekend before, both teams rested most of their major players and the match ended 0-0. Road to Wembley, both clubs received a bye to the third round. In square brackets is a letter that represents the opposition's division. P equals Premier League, C equals Championship, L1 equals Football League 1, L2 equals Football League 2. Match equals summary equals. The opening 20 minutes of the game were marked by cautious play and a lack of creativity from both teams, until Didier Drogba produced the game's first noticeable attempt on goal by hammering a shot wide from 30 yards. It took a further 10 minutes for another shot, this time from Chelsea's Frank Lampard, who forced a save from Edwin van der Sar. Wayne Rooney was twice called offside for United in the first half, but it was the closest the Red Devils came to any kind of chance. At half-time, Chelsea manager Jose Copyright Mourinho made a like-for-like substitution, bringing on Dutch winger Arjen Robben for Joe Cole. A minute after the restart, Rooney produced the most exciting action to that moment, dribbling round two Chelsea defenders before aiming a powerful shot towards goal, but Petr managed to make a convincing save. Rooney set off on another run 10 minutes later, carrying the ball a good 60 yards towards goal only to be tackled by the last Chelsea defender, Wayne Bridge. Ryan Giggs then flashed a volley barely 2 feet over the bar from close range after a cross from Paul Scholes, who picked up the game's first booking a minute later after fouling Lampard. From the resulting free kick, Drogba curled the ball around the United wall and off the outside of the near post. Rooney set off on another dangerous run soon after, dribbling round both John Terry and Michael Essien before having the ball taken off his feet by Age. With neither side doing enough to score in normal time, the game went into extra time for the third consecutive FA Cup final. United's best chance of the game fell to Giggs from only 3 yards out after Rooney slid a pass across goal, but the Welshman couldn't get proper contact on his shot and Age got down to make the save. Giggs appealed for a goal, claiming that the ball had crossed the line in Age's arms, but the linesman didn't flag and referee Steve Bennett waved play on. Television replays appeared to show that the ball had just crossed the line, but only after Giggs's momentum had pushed Age backwards into his own goal. After the game, United manager Sir Alex Ferguson claimed that Giggs had been fouled by Essien just before he took his shot. The deadlock was finally broken after 116 minutes when Drogba played a 1-2 with Lampard on the edge of the box after receiving the ball from John Obi Mikel, and prodded the ball past the onrushing Van der Sar and into the net. Chelsea picked up 3 more bookings in the last few minutes as they tried to halt a late United comeback, but Drogba's goal proved to be the last chance of the game as Mourinho's side held on to win the first ever FA Cup final at the new Wembley Stadium. Match details statistics Source: ESPN. See also, 2007 League Cup Final, 2006 a Euro 07 FA Cup, 2006 a Euro 07 League Cup. References. External links: FA Cup Finals Match Report.